I want to talk about open source code and what that means. Now, I started talking about this back in 2000, what, 17, 16, 17, right? Yeah, I've been doing these chats for a long time. And open source code is the next wave of this. This is part of what the new paradigm is bringing. But the problem with open source code is that in the old paradigm understanding of things, people have intellectual license, have intellectual copyright. So when you are the first one to copyright an idea, it becomes your idea. No one else can steal it and make money off of it. Okay. Now, the problem with this is that in the quantum, as it works with our consciousness, the reality already exists in the quantum. It's just a matter of aligning your consciousness to be a frequency match to download that idea, to download that whatever, that technology, the idea, whatever. Now, even though you have the idea as a human, it doesn't mean it's going to manifest yet, because now you have to also use your creativity. This is our human divinity right here at work. You have to use our human creativity on how to manifest the idea, how to manifest the vision. Okay. So this is where our human consciousness is the bridge for these quantum levels into this realm. It's our capacity to use our creativity and our know-how and will to create our ideas in 3D. Okay. But an idea cannot be owned when we're awake to these quantum levels, because it's no one person's. These ideas are actually for all of humanity. Okay. So for example, you guys know I'm a huge fan of Barbara Hand-Clow's work. Now, there's a lot about that model that is revealed to be a very limiting model, but that's not here or there. When she originally downloaded the contents of the Pleiadian agenda, she had to go through a process to unpack it. And then she had to go through a creative process to get it written into a book. Okay. So her process to unpack it was quite extensive. I think it was a year or 18 months. She had to do, I think it was like 100 different past life regressions with highly evolved groups of people that could ask the right questions, right, to get the information that needed to come out, and then take all that and digest it, and then bring forward the clear the way, the pathway, so to speak, so the actual voice and personality and consciousness of the being known as Satya to come forward, so she can write the Pleiadian agenda. Now, this was years in the making, right? And she, being trained as by her grandfather as a Cherokee record keeper, she was already prepared to be able to receive something like that. So in her day job, her and her husband were a publisher for Bear & Company, editors and publishers in Bear & Company. So what she commented about is that, okay, she went through all this, unpacked all the information, channeled the book, was able to channel it, get it written down, and then publish the book. Within a few weeks of her completing the original manuscript of Pleiadian Agenda, she said that there was, I think it was 3 or 5, I can't remember which number it was. There was 3 or 5 other manuscripts submitted to Bear & Company that was the exact same material. Okay. Now you can imagine her going through her unpacking process, very personal, very, very, you really needed to be committed and use your will and your all the things, all the resources at your disposal to unpack all that, process it all, get it written down, get it into a manuscript and published. Now you can see in the old paradigm understanding on why one would easily think that that is her intellectual license, because of all that she's done to create, to bring it into this world. But then those other manuscripts done by other people completely disconnected from each other, being submitted, that is the same work. How does that happen, right? This is the level that I'm talking about. Ideas, knowledge, technological awareness gets downloaded, and then we use our human capacity to create it and make it into 3D form. Okay, we cannot own these ideas anymore. They are open source code, and this is where the big cracking open is. The chaos is happening within humanity. See, no one knows about this because they're not talking about it. When Trump talked about wanting to take over Greenland and mine in Canada, it's like people are like, oh, he's a Nazi, he wants to take over the world. It's like, no, he is talking about securing the resources for a huge freaking business that no one understands. Nobody outside of the industry really understands. Okay. But what's going on here, what OpenAI is doing, it is forcing us to find right relationship to open source code. Okay. So another thing that's happening in the technological world, I don't know if you guys know about this. Anybody who's online that's researching or paying attention, you know about this, is that, when you do go into your search engine, there's an AI browser now. So when you search, say, I don't know, you want to look up something like something about astrology, there's an AI analyzer that gives you a little synopsis of the answer to your astrological problem or your astrological inquiry. Now, in the old days, before AI was part of your browser, it would give you a list of websites, and then you'd go to those websites and read their blog and get their information. But now, instead, you have AI analyzing all that information and creating a summary at the top of the search. So that means all those people that would normally be clicking on the websites and clicking on the blogs are not doing that anymore. They're reading the synopsis instead, done by the AI. Okay. Now, some could say that that is a copyright infringement. And there are people who do say that is a copyright infringement. And that is that whole controversy around that whistleblower that was murdered. Let me see, I want to say his name because I have a feeling that the whole thing's going to get covered up. So I want to make sure to honor this man for having the courage to whistleblow. Sakur Balaji. Sakur Balaji. So he was working with OpenAI, specifically with ChatGPT, working with their language modeling. And he realized, none of the data productions passed any of the copyright tests. So everything that you put online, guys, everything you put online, this video, the content, the ideas of this video, right? Everything you put online, the book that you published on Amazon, right? The audiobook you have out in Amazon, all of that content, all that intellectual property is getting fed into an AI cloud that's analyzing it and adding it to its data banks. So anytime anybody asks about it that has access to the larger, say, data bank of AI intelligence, your data is going to be included in the synopsis, right? Your data is going to be included in the assessment. Your data is going to be included in the analysis. Okay, so we are looking at what it looks, the dawning of what open source code is coming to. So that means humans need to come to terms with this idea that we own things. Right? We can own a revolutionary idea. We can own a formula for an antibiotic. We can own a formula for this medicine. We can own a formula for that medicine. Nope, not anymore. Not anymore. And this is why Big Pharma had to fall, and it's falling. This is why the old system has to fall, because the demand, the drive into the AI age is unstoppable. Why? Because it already existed in the quantum, and you have very, very creative, talented human beings committed to making it so here in this reality. You see what I mean? So you guys can let the players off the hook and understand they are all acting out an energy that exists that has to get act it out, because it's time. It's here. We're on the horizon of what this is.